Whitney Houston music was the soundtrack to my life up in the 80s. The movie The Bodyguard brought her fun, energetic, and an uplifting side. But when she sang, I Will Always Love You, It's Not Right, But It's Okay, those songs did hit me hard over the years, and it kind of helped with my emotional stages and in my life through breakups and heartache and stuff. Um, it was really upsetting to me when she passed. I think probably out of all the icons, like Whitney holds a special place in my art, as quite a few anyway. But it I I did get upset, and no doubt many people out there felt the same way. So it brought a lot of emotion up, and I did cry. Gotta be honest, I did cry when she passed. So her voice was like an angel. She was like an angel, despite the public. I'm reading off of the script, so I remember, because if you followed me for so long, my brain forgets, and brain fog and all aspects, yeah. But I want to say, this is what I wanted to say. Her voice was a true like angel, despite the public scrutiny. Knowing she had a toxic traits like all of us, I always felt she was trying to get through life under the massive pressure of having maintained the perfect public smile and grace. Her life ended tragically, but her voice and her music still lives on and truly helps me, and no doubt helps you guys too. Yeah. So we're soul seekers and soul seekers family, welcome to this heart and soul of Whitney Houston. It's going to be time stamped, so you can come back at any time, because it's going to be it'll probably be a long-winded one. So I will warn you. And I will rabbit on, but we will get to the point of it. But we're going to look at the facts, historical facts, because I do like to look at the historical facts alongside the tower, So her hometown is Newark, New Jersey, USA. She started her career at the age of 19, so young, in 1983. Her debut album in 1985 became the best-selling debut album by a female artist all the time. I mean, what stands to me was the video of I Want to Dance with Somebody, and I can remember, when I used to do clubbing and stuff, I was on the dance floor with that song. So apparently, I'm not really sure who this lady is, so I may look into her. But who inspired them? Her mother. Oh, well, obviously her mother, Sissy Host, who's, oh my God, Whitney Houston, a gossip singer. So her mum, her cousins, Diana Warwick and Dee Dee Warwick. I recognise those names, and I swear, Amy was drawn to these. And don't hold me on that, because I got a terrible memory. Challenges and publicly known, intense media scrutinized over her personal life, marriage, drug use, and vocal struggles in later years in her career. Her greatest achievements is holding the Guinness World Record at the most awarded female artist of all time, which is pretty amazing, isn't it? Being in the Guinness World Record. So stay tuned, because I have been given some more information about Whitney's legacy, especially for the 2026. There has been some massive news regarding her major awards she's receiving in January, so this month. I'm not quite sure when. That ties perfectly the energy we're seeing in the cards today. So before we begin, of course, we gotta do an open prayer. So, divine source of wisdom, I call upon your guiding light today for this reading for Whitney Houston. I ask that messages reveal, bring profound clarity and insights to the true essence of their heart and soul beyond their public persona. Help us to understand the circumstances that shaped their journey and the ultimate path forward with grace. I ask for support and protection for anyone who's watching and for the sacred space as we commence. And so it is. So if you've listened to, if you've seen my heart and soul things, we go through different sections. Okay. Um, so we're, so our first, so we've got section 1, which is the heart. Section 2 is the outside influencing. Section 3, they're demons. And section 4, their soul expressions. And section 5, their soul contract. This would be like the takeaway. Okay, so it is deep, guys. It is deep. So grab a cuppa, pause, grab a cuppa, sit down, relax. If you haven't got much time, why not just check it? Like I said, I will timestamp it as well. Right, so let's begin. So we're going to look at the heart of Whitney. Okay, their personal experience and how they seen the world, how they saw the world around them and within themselves. So we're going to look first of all their Whitney's personal experiences, her personal experiences. I've been so nervous doing this one, but she is in my own God. She didn't have much choice in life. So her personal experiences, I didn't have enough choice in my life and within my choices. I felt I couldn't be on my own. I couldn't follow my own path of where I wanted to be. So with her, she's saying that her world was around her was very controlled. And as you can see, you got the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles is not having enough. The Lovers in reverse is like the choices. Now, I swear to God, I put all this straight, right? And then the Hermit card as like, usually that's like following your own path. But she said that was taken out of her. So her personal experiences, how she felt, was that she couldn't be her own person in life, which is you can see that, can't you, how it contained and controlled. And I'll be doing more and more videos regarding with this as well. So it's interesting that Whitney has come up with this, so I never felt enough. I've never felt I had a choice, and I never felt like I was listened to or be able to trust my own instincts because people spoke to me, Okay. So her inner being, the self-perception, personal truths. Sorry. So Whitney, your inner being, the self-perception and personal truths to you. Whitney, inner beings, the self-perception truths. Dropping. I get to keep those 2. 3 of Pentacles. She, struggled. So her personal truth is that she she was engaging with the people around her. Okay, so I would see her as quite a flighty a spirit, you know, someone who was quite flighty and very fun in, but she also seen this as a challenge again, which would connect to these cards as well, the Five of Wands. So she felt strongly the competitiveness as well of having to be. But you can, if you look at the Three of Pentacles, you can see that they're going round in circles, and there's this fun energy here, yeah. And with the Magician card, as such as I say, like I had some, you know, the perception of my personal truths is that I had great connections and I could connect to a degree, but there was still this fight inside of me, in my heart, you know, that I still struggled to manage. So everything seemed to be structured, everything seemed to be planned in, especially around the heart conditions. So it wasn't, she wasn't able to be her free self, but she took the options when they came and made the most of it. So her her inner circle was her true connection, you know, to her heart, but she still felt she couldn't be herself around them. I don't know if that makes sense. The Five of Wands is about struggles, you know. Sometimes it can be competitiveness in relationships and stuff. So her self-reflection is, I struggled even though I had some great connections that I felt was good for me. So I feel like Whitney struggled with giving her heart away, you know, so but it was down to the very contained and controlled environments that she was in. Um, that's how I feel. That is. Should we dive a bit more on her moods at that time? You know, around her heart aspects. Let's have a look at her. Her moods at the time. Nightmare, suffering, darkness, and suffering, darkness, and perception. Yeah, so I think she struggled engaging. So she showed herself as, but the true heart of how she seen things was, it was more built on, I can't be myself. So her heart suffered through that contained relationship, you know, relationship. But she was full in when you had time with Whitney, she was engaged, you know, and she wanted fun. I think she wanted fun. She wanted to come away from the stress of everything. Which I think that's where there are things. So what the motivation and joys. So what deeply motivated them? What deeply motivated them? Seven of Wands. Okay, let's have a Page of Pentacles. This is so weird. Three of Cups. She liked challenges, so she did like to take risks. She liked to have the challenge, take the challenges. So I see Whitney, that she had a bit of feistiness with her too. Um, she liked to define, yeah. So the motivation was, I think she felt stuck in her image. I think she felt stuck in her image, and so she wanted to thrive on other things. So what motivated them was like, I want a bit more of a challenge here. I want a bit more, give me a bit more of a challenge. Um, I don't think she quite got that chance to show her potential. But yeah, she was very motivated in challenges. So what brings her, what genuinely lifted her spirits, what genuinely what genuinely lifted Whitney Houston's spirit. She liked relationships. She liked connection. She liked to be connected to people. Yeah, she liked to be involved, communicating, and just chilling out with her friends, with people, and just getting to know them and getting to know them. I don't feel she wanted the all focus on her either. So allegedly, like, yeah, that it almost made her feel normal. I don't feel Whitney felt normal around her, around that appearance. So when she liked downtime, she did like her downtime with her circle things. It gave her freedom to to express. It gave her that freedom. So I would say, like, people that's known her for a long time, they seen the true essence of Whitney, you know. So so that gave her joy. That gave her she loved the connection. She loved to get into the connection of it. She thrived on it. Interesting, isn't it? Okay. Right. We're gonna put these back in, I think. So remember, this is all allegedly entertainment purposes only. This is not facts. This is just a tarot. Me doing the tarot and the tarot's perspective. Yeah. But okay, so we're going to go into section 2. Section 2 of Whitney. So the outside influences, right? I'm having problems with these cards. So the world around them. Okay, so we're going to explore the outside influences. So we're going to look into the impact of the fame. Yeah. Oh, that card wanted to pop up. 4 of Wands. We know she's brought a legacy and a foundation. We know that eliminated her. So I think she enjoyed certain aspects of the fame thing. So yeah, she certainly got joy out of using her voice here. So you could two truths can be right at the same time. So exploring the impacts, she felt secure in her voice, her foundation of what she was applying. Again, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So I think Whitney wanted a bit more of a different foundation later on. I feel like she wanted to do different music, and I don't feel she had the chance to do that. She wanted it more communal, bringing people together. So, you know, she bought the foundations, but she wanted to be more, bring more inspiration to people. We got the 10 of Cups, so that's like the family card type of thing. Yeah, she wasn't able, they wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow it. I'm swearing this side. Yeah, they still just fixated on certain aspects of her. The media. What is that? The media. So we'll explore the media side. Oh, actually, let's pull forward like the impact of fame. Silence, no contact. Look, see, she wanted. We got the Home Foundation card again. Well, emotional fulfillment and Home Foundation. She didn't. I don't think she really wanted to. I'm not saying that she didn't. But I don't think she. Come later on, she wanted a bit more communal, spirited music to lift people. I got my foundation. I done what you said you want me to do, but I want to do more for the community, for the communal spirit. Does that make sense? I don't know. I mean, I that's how it, you know, the impact of her fame. She was looking for something. She was trying to find that level of purpose for her. Okay. So the media, because the media wasn't always kind to her, like most famous people. They can scrutinize. It's bad enough when you've got like neighbors talking, or like your village talking, but can you imagine worldwide being in the papers? I can't. That must be a huge pressure. So how did that impact her? It's their problem. I can rise above it. I don't care. It's their problem. It's their issue. Whatever. Whatever. I ain't gonna even I ain't even gonna deal with it or talk about it, you know? I ain't gonna even let it get to me. Sod them. Yeah. No matter what you do, I just gonna rise above it. With the judgment card, I'll just rise above it. She wasn't rude. What they were saying about her was stuff, really. It was just like, whatever, whatever. You grab what you can. If that makes you happy, you grab what you can. Yeah, you continue in the news. I know the truth. And the people close to me knows the truth. So whatever, float your boat, go for it. That's what. So yeah, that's how I see this message. All right, gotta go with it. All right, so it's a good attitude to have. The relationships. So her relationships with her friends and family. So her relationships with her friends and family. Temperance. There was an imbalance in her relationships with her friends and family. But hey, that's what happens. Things happen in relationships. There is necessarily sometimes an imbalance in relationships and that, but we can still start again. We can still move forward. So she didn't give up on things lightly. I think when you were part of the circle, she tried to hold you close. There. We can work things out. This is what is coming into mind when I'm pulling the cards, even though it's reserved. Although I will say that I think sometimes Whitney didn't necessarily give fully back. So I think as time went on in her later life, I wouldn't say she was selfish, but there was an element where she didn't fully give. Maybe that's where the imbalance is. I think there was a complacent going on. But is that because of what we seen in the very beginning of her heart? Like she felt she couldn't be herself. Did she? You know, she valued her friends and family. I can see the validation, you know, like she valued that aspect, but I think she became less putting the effort in, allegedly. Yeah. But she did love her family and friends, regardless of like what was being shown on the outward and what others are peeping in. Her connection was that was important to her. So, what was actually emotionally going on at that time for her to get to that point? Did her ego get the better of her, you know? Or did the shadow self? I mean, we're going to look into the our shadow side um aspect. So what was the emotions around it? Apology. So she feels guilty, she feels bad. Confession and forgiveness. I didn't put the full effort into my relationships with my friends and family, but I did love you. I did care for you. I did want that. I was blinded sometimes with what was going on, and paranoia I'm getting, you know, and stubbornness. Selfness. She had a bit of an arrogancy. Um, Gotta call it for what it is, you know. We're not perfect, are we? And that is the bottom line. Is if you think like Whitney had to be this perfect little image, you know, the good girl, you know. Well, that did take a toll on her, but she did become. So there was this imbalance, but I did love my family. I did love my friends. I did love them, but I'm sorry for the blindness and the stubbornness that I did. I was too proud to admit that I needed them. So it's almost like she may later on in life sabotaged her relationships, although it brought her, not that brought her joy, but her connections brought her joy. It's almost like there was a self-sabotage aspect there that was affected. But it doesn't mean that I didn't love my family, because I did. That's what I'm getting in my head there. Okay, so her love life, now her love life was, like, I can't say, I can't talk. I've had complications or relationships and stuff, and been single now for 5 years. So, I haven't had the best romance and relationships and stuff. So, but we're gonna look at for Whitney, their love life, insights, to how she connected to her partners. I sacrificed a lot. I had to sacrifice things. I held back a lot in my relationships too. She's got one particular male person, it could be an earth sign, that she didn't, that she wasn't in a relationship with, but didn't necessarily felt like she sacrificed a lot at that time with him. This is someone that she walked away from, allegedly. It had no roots. It had nothing. We couldn't grow together. It was full of ideas. The ideas was there, but it just wasn't worth my and if you look, there's no water, there's no cups in this. So to me it's like I didn't feel valued in the relationships. There was just nothing. I had to sacrifice this because it wasn't practical. It was more baseline friendship, more baseline. We got a lot of wands in here and pentacles. So it gave me, I was looking for stability, but it wasn't love. That's how I feel. I'm allegedly, mind. So there was no necessarily emotions going on here. Okay. So the heart of the matter, let's have a look at the what she, let's have a look at him and her part. So Whitney, her music was her pride and joy, so that kind of took over him, whoever this man is. I know she was married, but just doesn't necessarily mean it was him. Compromise, making changes. So this person didn't want to compromise anything. Okay. And the obstacles that they faced here, not showing their true self. They couldn't be true. They couldn't be true to each other. They couldn't be open to one another. So, okay, so what her viewpoint in around love, because she sang about love as well, didn't she? So her viewpoint, I mean, I don't know if she moved on and had other relationships of that, but I would say that that relationship impacted her a lot in her attitude towards around love. Yeah, I feel like she closed off. Yeah, she closed off from relationships. So she's, now there was talk of Whitney having relationships with women. So was this her true calling? Was this her true, was she denying herself love with another lady? Nine of Cups. She didn't take it any further. She had experience, but she didn't commit to that experience. She didn't take it any further. And I don't think she was willing to either. What was the reasoning behind that? What was the reasoning behind that? She didn't want to face it. I've turned it. I don't know what's going on with these my cards. It wasn't appropriate at the time, and it's something I didn't want to commit to. Oh, bless her heart. I just feel she really denied herself connections. Um, so it's one of those where she was like such a free spirit, but she was fun to be around and all that lot, but it was surface level stuff. She didn't, she started holding back a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to in relationships. So tell me more on that aspect. Anxiety, worry. She was afraid of how it would look and how it would affect her future, her stability in the future. Well, she come addicted to the pain of it all and the unhealthy attachment. So it, again, like, remember I was saying to you, I feel like it was like surface level energy. I I think wit it's really interesting because um I just watched about Priscilla, and I'm not going to say what I'm going to do, but I've got a few videos that's coming out, and this is kind of fitting the description of how she was stripped down of her personality, and how she, I feel like Whitney didn't know who Whitney was come near the end of her thing. So although, you know, she had passions and she had things that she wanted to do, but I feel she kind of lost herself in the making of it, and it was all, it just feels very surface level vibe going on here, which contradicted bits of what I was saying, but two truths can be, two things could be right at the same time, you know. It's, I think it's whatever fits. Okay, I'm gonna, because there you are, let's see, there's just like reverse cards. So we're gonna look at her strengths, well, her demons, the shadow side of, I mean, I think we touched on the shadow side, to be honest, of Whitney. That's sort of kind of show. It's quite sad, really. It's quite sad and heartbreaking to sort of like see that a person that is very much lost and caught up in things. Um, I'm just putting my card straight because although I can, I can read reversals, I'd like to have them at least organized. So if they do come out that way, then it wasn't a fluke. But I set this all up beforehand because I like to clean my decks and stuff. But hold fire, guys. Pause. Go take a break, and I will timestamp this, and we'll get back to the reading. But what are your things? What is your thoughts so far? If you're still watching, what is your thoughts so far? What do you feel I'm picking up here? Do you feel like the tarot is kind of like hitting on a raw nerve? Because I feel this is raw. This is kind of raw. Hence why we do the heart and soul, because what we see sometimes is not how it looks. I see a lot of heartbreak for like a lost soul, basically. Her music was so powerful. Yeah, she was so. I just feel she was so. I Out of all the heart and souls, I gotta be honest. This one has like um not disappointed me. That's the wrong word, but kind of like, oh, this is sad. This is really this is really sad that someone can feel wanting so much to be connected, but at the same time struggled to connect. You know, that's just sad. And but then, I mean, she, she did. You can see that she, in the cards, you can see that she valued people and connections. But life experiences kind of got in the way a little bit, didn't it? Uh, I think we've all, because when I touch on these aspects, it's always good to sort of look in, from our perspective in our life, and how this affects us, on a daily basis, so we can learn, to make better life choices and decisions and stuff. Right, now I've straightened out my deck. Right, okay, so her fears. So what was her fears? So sometimes we understand in the fears that was holding them back, and we touched on a lot of stuff that was going on emotionally for Whitney. Okay. So what was her fears that held her back? The unstableness. We got the Seven of Cups. So just feeling unstable with inner emotions here. I was confused a lot of the time. I was just like, I didn't want to be pushed or rushed, or I wanted to I didn't get a chance to feel my feelings there. The Empress card. She worried about, she was very connected to her, this is just like I'm contradicting myself, but she was just bear with me a minute. while I try and figure out the right words, because I do mess up my words a lot. But it's almost like I'm getting like with the Empress card is like her fear was to do with her creation and what she was creating. Um, it's really interesting that Whitney sang about love and emotions and stuff, but yet struggled with this connection and how relationships did affect her. The King of Pentacles come up. So there was a strong influence that she feared. The Tower. I just feel like someone done a number on her. That don't always necessarily mean romantically, although that did come up in the romance thing, reversed by, I might add. But someone, I feel like a strong influence male really done a number on her, and she feared it. She knew, she feared it. She tried to escape it. She wanted an escape. She had the idea of breaking free. That's, let me just, yeah. But she was tied legally. This is to do with, I feel this is to do with the industry. She was tied to the industry. Queen of Pentacles. She want she wanted to break free from it. It's almost like she knew that she had to escape it, because the Tower is about like the breakdown on it. She knew it was crumbling, she knew it was breaking down, and she knew that she needed to get out. She was trying to find a way of breaking free from it, but there was still this element, legal side to it, that she was tied to, and that was her biggest fear. That's what haunted them and held them back the most, was this tie here. That's interesting, isn't it? Allegedly, you know, but that's what I'm picking up. This feels, the King of Pentacles feels a very different influence to the relationship one. This feels like they were a very strong influence in Whitney's life, and in her were what she feared the most. Okay, so what was what was the obstacles in this? So what was the actual obstacles? I don't know if these are going to be the right deck. I might have to swap decks, guys. I can't pause, so I apologize. It's a different layout, a different setup. So you're just, and I can't edit. One thing I can't do. So this is, yeah, fears and afraid. Look, you can't make this up. I was afraid of it. I feared it and I was afraid of it. I knew it was crumbling all around me and I had to get out. The disconnect is divine femininity, but is reversed. I see what it was happening. I just was trying to find my peace in this situation. So it kept drawing her back. I don't know. So this just feels iffy. This feels very iffy. This feels very ick. I'm getting the ick. It's not very often I get the ick, but when I get the ick, I get the ick. When I get the ick, when I get this ick, it's just there's wrongdoing here. Something's not sitting right with me. So it feels, you know, when you in that pit of your stomach and you feel sick. You someone says something and you think, oh my God, I just feel really sick that they done that. That's how I feel, the pit of my stomach. So what may have darkened her around, so this is what she was afraid of the most. So I'm also getting, I made you, I can break you. I'm getting that. I feel like someone have said that to her. I made you, I can break you. And I feel like that's stuck with it, allegedly. Yeah. Okay. So what may have darkened? Let me know if you want me to dive. I mean, I am going to look into doing, her last days, months led build up to her passing later on in the year. I'm going to do it. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and we can cover this bit too. Because I still feel sick about it. So that's, you can take that away. I don't want that. What may have darkened their spirit? I don't know. I don't get that Page of Wands. She heard something. There was some news of some sort. She heard something. Ten of Swords. Look at him trying to grasp that acorn there. She was fighting to stay on top. She was trying to stay on top, or there was something, but someone come to a brutal end. There was deception. There was deception. There was deceit going on, allegedly. Oh my God. Ouch. The two cards together, the Ten of Swords and the Death card. We know what happened. Yeah, that's just giving me goosebumps. The transition. So I think something happened that night. Something allegedly. I mean, there is conspiracies around her passing. I know, but this there was dynamics going on at the time. They found out something around that time, which would have brought that fear up. And what's eerie is like we got the Six of Swords, which is, the transition, but the water aspect. I feel didn't like that. That's just gonna go. Okay, let's just move on to that. I'll let I'll let you decide what you think of that. Remember, it's entertainment purposes only. This is not factual. This is just me reading the cards. I gotta put that out there, guys. So, but yeah, I didn't like that. That really gives me the ick. That just made me feel sick. Oh, my nose is running now. Oh God, if you didn't see that on the telly. Got a bit of a cold coming, I think. Right. Let's just like ring the bell on that. Yeah. 'Cause that was just that was a bit dark. That was really dark. I didn't expect that. Right, okay. Section 4, their soul expression, the creative, what initially drew them to the craft. Should we do? I haven't. I mean, I've done a little touch on these cards before. Like I done a show and tell, but I haven't. So these are new. So you've got to bear with. But I thought for section 4, we will do the rhythm and soul tarot. I might need a little bit of help with that. So let's just see the creative core and what initially drew them to the craft. E.g. music, art, their music, wasn't it? Already messing this up. So what initially Whitney drew her to her craft? What initially drew her to her craft? Let's see what the how I get on with this rhythm and soul deck. Bit nervous. Wait, it's always good to jazz, all that jazz. So it was her family roots. It was her family roots, her connections with her roots. I think that's one, so 6 of Wands. She was truly inspired by her root of where she came from in her home environment and connection, which did illustrate that at the beginning when I was talking about Whitney. So yeah, her roots, her family roots, where she come from, her mum for definitely. Roots, I think, is Pentacles in this deck. But yeah, very inspired with that. It was a good vibe. It was a good feel vibe to her. Here. What they most enjoyed about their passion? What did they most enjoy about their passion? Always good to leave it on a good. So what they enjoyed most about their chosen passion? Using their voice. This is the Swords card. This is about communication and stuff. So they got a kick out of like able to use their voice to the sound, bringing things to the surface as well. Right, hang on, I just so this is like 5 of Pentacles. It's like I wouldn't say all eyes on me, but it's like fulfilling this space, taking this space up. Um she it's she was I mean she had her demeanor, her oral was very, people were drawn to her, weren't they? She had a great vibe about her aura and stuff. So I feel like that to her was like her initial, like how she chose, she loved to use her voice. um she loved she loved to sort of create that space there. Then you got the page of jazz here. So she liked the communal side of bringing it all together with the connection aspect. Yeah. So yeah, her roots, the stability in it, you know, and just like the fun, inspirational parts of it, of bringing the music together. um she she just got so much joy out of that. So unrealized passions, what they're inspired to create or achieve, which I don't think she got the chance to be honest, fully. I don't feel fully think she had that. What was I saying about connections? Bringing people together. Got the blues here. Night of, yeah, she wanted to bring, um she wanted to, so are inspired to create connections, to bring I think she wanted to do a bit of collabing. Did she do a collab? I don't know. Was there collabing on the, that she wanted to do or wanted to experience? I feel like she wanted to experience different types of music as well. She didn't want to stick to the gender, allegedly. I don't know if that, what do you guys think? That's how I would interpret the cards here, because we got blues, then we got axes, then we got jazz. So we've got a mixed range of quality of music that's coming up. So she really wanted to fire it all up to bring it all together. So I feel like Whitney wanted, she wanted to she loved to inspire in that, but I don't think she just wanted to do pop or love songs. I think she wanted a range of stuff to do. That's how I feel. Okay. So yeah. Now we're hitting the stages of coming close, drawing close to the end of Whitney's thing. So we're going to look into the message we need to hear. What message does Whitney want us to hear? What is the message that Whitney wants us to hear? Protect yourself from unwanted influences. Go towards your dreams of what you want. Use your own, find your own roots. Notice I use the words. Finding your own roots here. Don't let anyone define who you are. Is another message I'm getting here. Look, Seven of Wands, he's fighting, he's protecting. He's fighting back, he's protecting. He's not letting anyone shape him. Seven of Wands is like the defending yourself, The Nine of Cups here is going for your dreams and using your own tunes. If she could turn back the time, I think she would have done things, some of her things very differently. So she's inspiring you to create your own vibe. The world, yeah. The world is your oyster. Don't let other things define who you truly are. Take take the lead here. Oh, we've got the 9 of Jazz. Create your own inspirational music, or yeah, this is like weighing heavy. Don't, she's saying, I'm the voice. Learn from my mistakes of being tied to the industry, tied to, you know, I loved my music and that was my life, but it also trapped me into, you know, trapped my fate where I was carrying so much, when truly all I wanted was the freedom to express my own way, if you know what I mean, So I mean, that, what can we learn from that experience? I mean, I'll go there, we'll use that in as the last part of this message. Take action, or is take action. Wow, power source, isn't it? Of the devil in this card deck. Yeah. Okay. Again, is overcome that indulgence and that fear. King of Axes is King of Swords, is like I'm standing in my power, standing in my my force. I speak my own truths. I ain't defined by my fears or people, that the manipulations in the world. Okay. The High Priestess comes in as like, I follow what intuitively feels right to me. I dig deep into my soul, and I have the courage to expand my horizons, you know, and use my gifts as a form of coming forward. Okay. 7 axes, 7 of swords, coming away from the lies and the deceit that I tell myself, and what I tell, what others tell me. Okay. And I use the opportunities to broaden my horizons. I manifest into that. I think I'm going to leave it as that. Again, this is like allegedly entertainment purposes only. That was an intense reading. Felt really intense in some parts of it all. Okay, so you know, we're in the final reflection stage of, like I said, that felt intense. I don't know what you felt, guys, but to me that's fine. But here's a fun fact. Did you know that she's the only artist to have 7 consistent #1 singles on the USA Billboard Hot 100 charts? I never. I never knew that, but there you go. That's a fun fact. Her favorite quote is, I love to remember her, right? So I like to be honest, open and free. But the actual spread, you know, the tarot spread showed me that she was unable to do that, that she struggled with that, although she did, you know, was a bit spontaneous at times as well. Right, so as promised, here is your 2026 Whitney Houston legacy update. It turns out, right, so it turns out my timing was spiritually led, because I've been planning to do this reading for a few months now, And then the Christmas period come, and I wanted to do like the Christmas stuff, and I was going to do Whitney then, and I became ill, and there was just like loads of stuff going on at the time. So I wanted to save my energy. I wanted to be in good energy vibe to be able to do this, and now I understand why from like the reading itself. So I feel like the timing is just right here. So anyway, her Lifetime Achievement Grammy, Whitney is officially being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2026 Grammars on the 31st of January this year. It's just mental, isn't it? The UK tour, the Queen of the Night 10th anniversary tour, actually kicks off in 2026, runs this Saturday. Oh, well, I wouldn't say this Saturday because, well, it might, so it's January the 10th in Birmingham, which is not far from me. I wonder if they've got one in Bristol, because I would go to it, and I expect my girls would go to that too. The 40-year milestone. We currently in the grand final of her 40th anniversary of her debut album. So it's very clear and strong that her energy is really coming in 2026. And ironically, like I just because I was looking at my notes for Amy Winehouse, her next couple videos that I'm going to be doing for this year, and it's the 20th anniversary of Black in Black as well. So it was just like, wow, what's going on? Guys, there's just like loads of stuff coming up today. So what do you think? Did this resonate with you? Did this really connect to the Whitney heart and soul? Did you feel that? I would love to hear your thoughts or what you know in that. So I'm gonna leave it with like closing down thing. So I'm gonna turn that around. So we're gonna do the So, with deepest gratitude, I thank the divine for the profound messages and insights today, particularly concerning the heart and soul of Whitney Houston. We are truly grateful for the guidance and understanding. As I now close this sacred space, I send forth healing and blessings to all. And anything that is, it can go. I'm going to clear my desk. I'm going to clear my cards as well, I think, because it's that was quite deep. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you've watched to the end, I really appreciate it. Put emoji of like maybe a mic, a star is born, if you so wish. It'd be nice. You don't have to like comment, but if you could put emoji in that, it'd be great. And if you could, and thank you if you've liked the video as well. This all helps, inspires me as well. Remember, I'm going to say it again, it's in the description box too. This is entertainment purposes only, not fact. I'm just using my cards. What I pick up is the purpose of reflection and us kind of learning from the past, I suppose. And I want to thank Whitney for all her music and keeping me on track when I was angry and emotionally upset and stuff. I want to thank her with that. And yeah, so I'll see you on the other side, and you take care. Lots of love and many blessings. Much love. And I'll see you on the other side.